Well, good morning, everyone. This is Christine Beck, the program coordinator for the Alliance, and welcome to the Alliance's webinar series. Today is October 14th, 2015, and our webinar is Stop Bullying Now. This webinar will be recorded, so if you missed some information or you want to go back and relive it all over again, just let me know. We can either email you the recording or we can put it on a disc and send it to you. I also want to remind folks that as we talk about bullying, it may bring up some memories, and please be sure to practice self-care. So if you find yourself becoming upset, get up, move around, do what you need to do to feel okay and to practice that self-care. It's not the intent that anybody is upset by the information that will be shared, but many of us, if not all of us, have experienced bullying in our lives, and it does bring up some painful memories. So with that, let's start. So this morning, we have registered folks in McHenry, Illinois. That's Advocates in Motion. From Pontiac, Illinois, Livingston County Advocates in Action. Give yourself a shout out. From Bloomington, Change to Independence Altogether. Give yourselves a big shout out. And from Charleston, Illinois, we have CTL, Self-Advocacy Center. So we're kind of spread out today, and that's a good thing. October is Bullying Awareness Month. Actually, I think that every month should be Bullying Awareness Month, but October is the month out of the year that many schools and agencies and organizations and businesses focus specifically on bullying. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do personally and some ideas that your agency or organization can do to bring more awareness to bullying. First thing we'll do is some sign language. So get your hands ready. Make sure you have enough room and you're not bumping into your neighbor. And we want you to sign stop bullying now. So everybody get your hands ready. Let's try that. Stop bullying. Kind of looks like a bull's two horns. And now your palms are facing up, your hands are cupped, and you're bringing it from your chest down towards your stomach. Stop bullying now. So in sign language, that's a way that you can tell people, stop bullying now. Sometimes we use our words and sometimes we use our sign language. So this is the part where I want you to get ready to type in some responses using your control panel. So how do you define bullying? We all define it differently, and that's great. So I want to know from you, how do you define bullying? And I'll give you a few minutes to talk and to type some definitions into your control panel and send them to me, and I'll share them with everyone. So again, how do you define bullying? All right, from Change to Independence Altogether, we have making fun of people. Yeah, that's a great definition of bullying. Another person said harassing people. And harassment can be making fun of people. They can be saying mean things to people. Here's one from Livingston County Advocates in Action. Someone who picks on other people to make themselves feel better. Wow. Those are all great definitions of bullying. And probably we're all speaking from experience when we say these definitions. I know I've experienced being made fun of or being harassed or someone who picked on me. And if that's happened to you, I'm sorry that happened. You didn't deserve it. That was not nice. So bullying is, when we really think about it, it's power over. It's someone wanting to have power over somebody else. And the power over isn't meant for good. It's meant to hurt that person in some way. And bullying may happen one time, or it can happen over and over and over again. And I've heard people share stories that they were picked on and bullied every single day that they went to school, and how that hurt and how it really helped shape the person they are, and that they wanted to make sure that they never bullied anybody else. So why might people with disabilities be the target of bullying? And oftentimes people with disabilities are bullied because they stand out as being different. And people don't always think of it as being different in a really cool way or a unique way, because we're all different, and that's a great thing. We all have gifts and talents and special things that we can offer to others. Sometimes people see people with disabilities as just being different and therefore not good enough. Now, we know that's not right. There's two types of bullying. There's direct bullying and there's indirect bullying. So let's learn a little bit more about both of those. Direct bullying can be physical. It's like hitting and kicking and pushing, stealing, hiding, or ruining someone's things, making someone do something that he or she doesn't want to do. Direct bullying can also be verbal. It can be name calling, it can be teasing or insulting, threats or intimidation. And sometimes people think they're not bullying because, oh, I'm just teasing you. But if it hurts you, then it's bullying. Teasing isn't a good way to treat people, even if you don't mean it to be harmful. That's something we ought to just try and stay away from. Indirect bullying is still as painful. There can be relationship or social bullying, such as gossiping and spreading rumors and lies about someone, making someone feel left out or rejected. I've heard stories too about people who spread rumors and how that hurt them, or someone who was never invited to the class birthday parties because they had a disability. They just weren't included, and that's real hurtful. Cyberbullying is harassment using technology, such as email, instant messaging, websites, text messaging, sometimes cyberbullying on Facebook and Twitter. You know, being in the cyber world, using email and websites, text messaging, Facebook and Twitter can be a wonderful way to connect with people. But there's people out there who don't use it in wonderful ways. Instead, they use it in ways to hurt people and to bully people. So let me ask you all, have you ever heard of indirect bullying, such as relationship or social bullying or cyberbullying? Is that something new to you? So go ahead and use your control panel, type in an answer, and I'll let everybody know what you're saying. So again, what do you know about indirect bullying, such as relationship or social bullying, which is that gossip and spreading rumors and lies, or making someone feel left out, or the cyberbullying, harassment using technology? All right, Livingston County Advocates in Action. They say yes. We have heard about the cyber one. All right. And then from Change to Independence Altogether, most of CIA has due to internet safety classes. Thanks for mentioning that, Change to Independence Altogether. I think it's really important, the more we get into using the internet and using cyber techniques to get out there and to connect with people, that we need to be aware of sometimes the dangers that can happen. People may not be who they say they are. People may be bullies over websites and over the internet. So if you have an opportunity to get some information or to take a class on cyberbullying and internet safety, I suggest you do that. Good idea. Let's talk a little bit about bullying in school. Bullying in school is against the law. I'm not sure it was against the law when I went to school a long time ago, but it's against the law now. And Illinois is one of 47 states that have anti-bullying laws for schools. And schools in Illinois are also supposed to provide education to all their students about bullying and to do anti-bullying programs. That said, sometimes bullying does go on at school. But you know, if you see it happening, stand up, say something, or report it to a trusted adult. There's also workplace bullying. So many of us are out of school and we're now in the workplace. And so workplace bullying is ongoing mistreatment that may include verbal and nonverbal abuse, threats, humiliation, and intimidation, sometimes interfering with the work. Maybe you need some certain supplies or a jig or a fixture to do your work, and there's somebody who keeps on taking it so that you can't do your work. That can be an example of workplace bullying. In fact, the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, or EEOC, reports that harassment tops the list of formal complaints received from people with disabilities. So people with disabilities in all kind of employment settings, they're talking about harassment, that they have experienced harassment and have reported the harassment. And if you don't know if your agency has any policies about harassment, ask your advisor. Ask a case manager. Ask the executive director of the agency. Tell me about our workplace bullying or any kind of bullying policy. There's a healthy workplace bill. Workplace bullying is against the law in Illinois. The Healthy Workplace Bill guides employers and employees, and Illinois was the 15th state to introduce the Healthy Workplace Bill. So the legislators knew that having a healthy workplace for all employees was a good thing and the right thing to do. So there is now a workplace bullying bill. Actually, it's called the Healthy Workplace Bill, and at the bottom of your screen, you can see the website. So if you want to go and learn more. So let's talk about those people who bully. We probably know them. I don't want you to say anybody's name, but people who bully, they want power. Remember, we said that bullying was about power over someone. They want to control someone in some way. People who bully have a positive attitude towards violence. They think violence is okay. They may have quick tempers. You hear about people who can go from 0 to 60 or happy to really angry very quickly, oftentimes without any provocation. So they have quick tempers. They have difficulty conforming to rules. They like hurting people and believe that they are rewarded either with getting attention or material goods from their bullying. And here's something that's kind of strange to think about. Sometimes bullies have positive self-images. They think they're great. They think they're better than everybody else. And so it's okay for them to treat people poorly. It's okay for them to bully other people because they see them as less than. Some other information about people who bully: they lack concern for others. You know, if they cared about other people, they wouldn't be treating them badly. They're concerned with what they want rather than what others may want. They have to win at all costs. People who bully may find it difficult to see things from someone else's point of view. If you're having a conversation and you're trying to share your ideas, your experiences, how you're feeling, they may not want to hear about that. They think that their feelings and their experiences are the only feelings and the only experiences. So they can find it difficult to see things from somebody else's point of view. And they're also willing to use other people to get what they want. So they may use somebody else to do their dirty work so that they can get rewarded or they can get something that they want. So here's a time for you to talk for a minute. What else about people who bully? What have you noticed, or what do you know about people who bully? Talk, write it in using the control panel. Remember, we don't want to use any names, but we talked about some of the characteristics of people who bully. What are some other characteristics that you know? Again, use your control panel, type in a response, and I'll share the response with everyone. Again, the question is, what else about people who bully? Are there some other traits? Something else you know about people who bully? Again, not using names, but type in a response using your control panel. Send it to me and I'll share it with the wider audience. All right. Wow, change to independence altogether. Great observation. Not all bullies are violent. You are correct. Not all of them are violent. Not all of them physically hurt people, but they hurt them in other ways. Maybe they hurt them through gossip or cyberbullying. And some people who bully don't look like they would be bullies at all. Yeah, they don't. There's some people who they look real nice and they act real nice, and then they kind of do some mean things that aren't so nice. They don't include people or they call people names. So thank you for sharing that not all bullies are violent, and some people who bully don't look like they would be bullies. Thank you so much for sharing that. And from Livingston County Advocates in Action, they put people down and call names sometimes. Yeah, they do. And I can share some experiences where I've been a bully. I didn't realize I was doing it, or maybe I wouldn't have called it bullying. But looking back, I know that I didn't treat people as nicely as I should have. And that wasn't kind of me to do. But I really try to make sure that I'm not bullying people and that I am treating people kindly and fairly. So thanks so much for adding those two bits. So signs of possible bullying. People can show signs when they're being bullied. And so it might be a physical change, an emotional change, or a behavioral or social change. So let's talk a little bit more about those. So some physical changes that may indicate that somebody's being bullied: cuts, bruises, scratches, or broken bones. Now maybe somebody fell down. I know I've tripped over my own feet before. So asking somebody, hey, what happened? Instead of just assuming if your friend or somebody you know shows up with a cut or bruise or a scratch or broken bone that they've been bullied. Headaches or stomach aches, damaged possessions or missing possessions that need to be replaced, missing money. I know I've heard people share that maybe there's somebody at the workshop who's always taking their money or kind of bullying them for money. They don't bring their own money and they want money for the vending machine. Or I hear stories of people who take somebody else's lunch all the time. Or, if you don't give me your lunch, I'm going to hurt you. So they haven't been violent, but they threaten violence. So physical changes. So let's look at emotional changes. Sometimes people withdraw or they become shy. Now, if someone has always been shy, it might not be a sign, but someone to always be outgoing and talkative and, maybe now they're withdrawn and shy. And that's a change for them. That's a change you notice. You may want to say, hey, is everything okay? What's going on? Someone with a lot of anxiety or depression or aggression. We hear that sometimes when people have been bullied, they respond by bullying other people. They may not bully their bully back, but they will look for someone else that they have power over. So sometimes people who are bullied become bullies in response. And behavioral and social changes in eating or sleeping habits, no longer wanting to participate in activities they once enjoyed. Maybe the bully is at the YMCA in the Zumba class, and that person's always making fun of them when they're trying to do Zumba. I've never done Zumba, but I can't imagine I'd be really good at it. I don't have rhythm. But maybe there's a bully in the Zumba class and the person doesn't want to go to Zumba class anymore because they don't want someone talking about them and making fun about them. Beginning to bully siblings and or friends or mistreating family pets. Again, sometimes people who have been bullied or who are being bullied start to bully other people. Maybe it's younger siblings or friends who maybe won't defend themselves or mistreating family pets. Sometimes the behavioral and social change can be hurting themselves or attempting or threatening suicide. It's really sad, but people have committed suicide because of bullying. And suddenly changing friends. Maybe there's someone in a group of friends that's being a bully, and that person no longer wants to hang around with that group of friends anymore. They just remove themselves from that situation so they don't have to be present with the bully. So there's signs. Other changes, not wanting to go to school or work, changing the method of going to school or work, such as the walking route, wanting to be driven instead of riding the bus, or a drop in grades, or a change in work habits. So whenever you notice something different about your friend or someone you work with, just have a conversation. It might be nothing, or it could be something else like bullying. So how does bullying make people feel? When you think of bullying, how do you think that makes people feel? So talk amongst yourselves. Use your control panel to type in some responses. And I'll share those responses with the wider audience. How does bullying make people feel? Think it makes them feel good or not? Wow. I would shout this out for Change and Independence altogether because they put it in big capital letters, sad, mad, depressed. Yes, bullying does make people feel sad, mad, and depressed. And from Livingston County Advocates in Action, it makes people feel sad and lonely. It does. You feel like you're the only one that's being picked on and bullied. So it does feel lonely to not be included. Makes you feel sad that somebody would treat you that way. And it makes you feel mad. And you know what? Like I said, sometimes people who get really mad because they've been bullied, take it out on other people and they become a bully themselves. Remember, if somebody calls you a name, you are not your label. Labels are for cans, not for people. So if somebody's calling you a name and putting a label on you that you don't like, just don't accept that label. And you can speak up for yourself and say, I am not my label. I am not what you say I am. And remember, labels are for cans, not for people. Now, sometimes we are not the ones being bullied, but we see it happening. Maybe it's our friend being bullied, or a coworker being bullied, or maybe a neighbor or a family member. So silence, when we are silent as witnesses and bystanders, that might mean we're supporting the person who is being the bully. So if we don't speak up somehow, some way, that could mean that we are supporting the bully. And I know it might be scary to speak up right to the bully, and some of us can do that easily and some of us can't. But maybe if you're someone who can't speak up right to the bully when it's happening, you go find a trusted person that you can tell. So maybe it's a supervisor, maybe it's another family member, maybe it's a friend or a case manager. Go tell somebody and they can help take care of the situation. So some reasons people don't stand up for the victim, so the person who's being bullied. Sometimes the bully is someone others look up to and they want to hang out with, like, that's a cool person and I kind of like that person and I want to be cool, so I'm not going to say anything. Or they agree with the bully because it makes them feel strong. You know what? He really is kind of a jerk, so I'm not going to speak up. Or some people are entertained by the bullying. They think it's fun. They think it's funny. Or sometimes we think that speaking up isn't going to help. Like, everybody knows that person's a bully. Nobody does anything about it, so why should I speak up? Other reasons include, I'm afraid that if I say anything, the bully's going to hurt me. Or I'm afraid someone's going to call me a tattletale, and then the bullying will start against me. We're going to talk about tattletale in just a second. Or another reason people don't stand up for the victim is some people think, bullying happens. It's part of life, not a big deal. Everybody has to experience it. I kind of don't like that one. I know that bullying happens, but it's up to all of us to stand up and speak up and change things, because it is a big deal when someone's being bullied, and we do want to stop it. All right. Judy from CTF, Illinois. Judy said that her sister stood up for her, and I stand up for myself and speak out. You go, Judy. Sometimes our sisters or our brothers or our friends, sometimes even a stranger will stand up and speak out for us. And that's a beautiful thing. So we talked about tattletale. I don't want someone to think I'm a tattletale. So tattling versus telling. So when you're tattling on someone, you're trying to get that person in trouble. You want that person to get in trouble. Maybe you're telling the truth, maybe you're making something up, but you're going in tattling because you want them to get in trouble. Telling is a little bit different. When you tell about bullying, you're helping someone else. You're helping the victim. Does that make sense? So tattling is trying to get someone in trouble. Like maybe I go and tattle on Tracy. That Tracy, she is just, I don't know, she's always talking and she's always smiling, and I wish she weren't that happy. So I'm going to go tell Shannon on her. I'm going to tattle and say, Tracy's always smiling and happy. I want her to get in trouble. So that'd be tattling. Telling would be, you know what? There's someone who is bullying Jason, and I don't like that, and Jason doesn't like it. So I'm going to go and tell someone so that they help Jason. So we need you to help stop bullying. We all have a part to play. And again, I said that not everybody is at a point where they can stand up and speak out right when it's happening. Sometimes we're a little bit quieter with it. We'll go and tell, or after the fact, we tell the victim, I'm sorry that happened to you, and maybe we can go tell someone together. You know, sometimes it feels like there's safety in numbers. So how do we put a stop to bullying? We speak up, and we encourage others to speak up. Some of the things we can say is, cut that out. Stop that. That's not funny. You're hurting him. You're hurting her. Another thing you can do, make friends with someone who gets picked on. I know my son Nathan found out that there's a kid on the bus who he said that he's getting picked on the bus. And Nathan said, you know what? I'll talk to him on the bus. I'll talk to him at the bus stop. If he feels like he doesn't have any friends on the bus, I'll talk to him. So make friends with someone who gets picked on and tell a trusted person. What other ideas do you have to put a stop to bullying? Anything that you've done? Any ideas that you have? Go ahead and use your control panel to type in a response and I'll read it out. What other ways can you put a stop to bullying? So again, what other ways, what other ideas do you have to put a stop to bullying? We shared speak up, say something, encourage others to speak up. Make friends with someone who gets picked on, tell a trusted person. What are some other ideas on putting a stop to bullying? All right, change to independence altogether. Tell the person who is being bullied not to give up. Yeah, showing support for that person, saying it's going to get better. I believe in you. Don't give up. From Advocacy Center at CTF, if people are fighting, you can stick up for them or tell someone. Absolutely. If they're fighting, you can say, hey, stop that. Or you can go get someone and tell someone. Great ideas. Great ideas. What not to do when someone tells you of bullying. Let me go back real fast because I have another comment on ideas to putting a stop to bullying. From Change to Independence Altogether, make friends with the person, and after a while, others will be a friend, and as a group, you can stop the bullying. Hey, I like that. Sometimes it doesn't feel safe to do it by yourself or maybe with just you and one other person. But if you get a whole group to confront that bully and say, we don't like that, you stop now, that can work. Safety in numbers. I like that. Thank you so much. So what not to do when someone tells you of bullying? Don't say, just ignore it. And I know I've done this with my kids and with other people. When they came to me and said, you know, someone's making fun of me or someone's being mean to me, what I've done in the past, it said, oh, just ignore them. If you ignore them, they'll stop. And really, that's not the right message. That's sending the message that it's okay that that person is bullying you. Just ignore it means, you know, you shouldn't have feelings about it. It's not important. So try not to say, just ignore it. Maybe what you can say is, I'm sorry that's happening. How can I help support you? What can I do to help it get better? So undoing the damage, we know that bullying causes damage. And again, it could be a one-time bullying incident, or it could be bullying that happens regularly. Help the person feel good about himself. You know, Change to Independence altogether said, befriend that person. Help the person to feel safe within his or her area and in their world. Help the person to find their gifts and talents. Help the person gain control over moods and feelings, and support the person in accomplishing goals. So these are things that we can all do to help undo the damage. And sometimes it takes a while, but helping that person feel good about themselves and realize you're not a bad person. You're not the labels that the bully is calling you. You're a strong person, an awesome person, a good person. Are you being a bully? Now, you don't have to raise your hand, but are you being a bully? But before I go into that, we have some questions, comments, and contributions. Oh, great job, CTF Advocacy Center. Help them talk about it. So that's in response to undoing the damage. Yeah, help the person talk about their feelings and how it made them feel. That's a good thing to do. We do need to have people share their feelings. Sometimes people keep them bottled up. So thank you so much for that contribution. So are you being a bully? Does it make you feel better to hurt other people or to take their things? Do you sometimes use your size, strength, title, or position to get your way? Some people might say, because I'm the boss, that's why. You don't have to like it. I'm in charge. Are you bullying someone because you have been bullied? Now, I know for myself that I bullied my siblings. Well, not my older sister, but my younger brother. He didn't appreciate it much, but when I got older and I understood what I was doing, I stopped because I used my position as the older sister to get what I wanted. But are you being a bully? I hope not. Stop bullying others. So if you ever have been a bully, apologize to people that you have hurt and follow it up by being respectful. Don't just say, oh yeah, I'm sorry about that, but then keep calling people names or hurting them. If you are having a hard time feeling good about yourself, explore ways to boost your self-esteem. Sometimes bullies don't feel very good about themselves. So find out ways that you can feel better about yourself. If you feel like you're having trouble controlling your feelings, especially your anger, talk to someone about getting help. You know, sometimes we have to go talk to a counselor or therapist and kind of work through these feelings of why I'm hurting, why I want to hurt other people with my words or my actions. So asking for help is a really great thing. Some people think it's a sign of weakness. I think it's a sign of strength. Letting people know, I need some help. I need some help. Do you have any other ideas how people can stop bullying others? What if you had a friend that was being the bully? And you said, you know what, you need to stop. And here's some advice. What advice would you give your friend if your friend was being a bully? So again, what would you say to somebody else who's being a bully to help them stop bullying? Go ahead and use your control panel to share your contribution, and I'll share it with a wider audience. What would you say to a friend who is being the bully to help them stop bullying? All right. CTF Advocacy Center. Ask what makes them happy, and I hope you feel better. Oh, that's great, Ask what makes them feel happy, and if they say, bullying people makes me feel happy, maybe you say, dude, I think you need some help. Yeah, but ask somebody, what makes you feel happy? Let's focus on that, and I hope you feel better. Livingston County Advocates in Action. Ask them to think about how they are making others feel when they bully someone. Yeah, maybe having them stop and kind of think, wow, what might my words or actions be doing to someone? Let me put myself in that person's place. How might they be feeling? And from Change to Independence Altogether, ask them if they need a friend to talk to. Is it really worth hurting others to make you feel better? Wow, that's really powerful. Leanne Roth, who is one of our Alliance staff, she says this about bullying. Blowing out my candle doesn't make yours burn any brighter. So I'll say that again. Blowing out my candle doesn't make yours burn any brighter. So, you know what? Telling me that I'm not good enough doesn't make you better. It just makes you a bully. So some strategies for agencies and organizations. Involve self-advocates, family members, and your local sexual assault center in coming up with bullying policies and procedures. And from the local sexual assault center, they have a lot of bullying programs that they can bring for free to your agencies and organizations. They go out to schools and they go out to other locations to talk about bullying. Implement a policy against bullying. Implement a comprehensive bullying prevention program. Talk to the staff about bullying. Not only the staff, but talk to all the self-advocates about bullying and say that our agency is a bully-free zone. We don't tolerate bullies. Provide training for everyone. Sometimes agencies will only provide training for staff, or they'll only provide training for self-advocates. But everybody has had their lives touched by bullying. And maybe what the cool thing to do would be that everybody gets training, staff and self-advocates together. We're all going to talk about it. We're all going to learn about it. And investigate bullying incidents and work with people involved to prevent future incidents. So we have a comment. Oh, here's some great ideas from CTF Advocacy Center. Terry, who's a self-advocate there, wrote an article on bullying. Oh, Terry, I would love to read that article, and if you'd like, with your permission, we could put that in the Alliance newsletter. That would be a great addition. Another comment from CTF Advocacy Center in Charleston: become friends with the person and ask them to do things with you. I like that idea. As hard as it could be to start to be friends with the person, a lot of times I think bullies are kind of lonely. They're just not happy people, and they may be lonely. And not that you have to be best friends, but maybe little by little, you start to develop a friendship, a good, honest, healthy friendship based on equality and respect. Great ideas. Thank you, guys. Stop bullying now. Stand up. Speak out. How about we all say that together? Stop bullying now. Stand up. Speak out. All right, we're going to do it one more time. So we're going to raise the roof on this one. Let's go. Stop bullying now. Stand up. Speak out. Oh, fantastic. So, questions, comments, considerations. What else would you like to share about Stop Bullying Now? What do you want folks to know? Do you have any questions? Do you have any comments or anything for the audience to consider? Remember, October is Bullying Awareness Month. We're midway through October, but we still have a couple of weeks left. You could still do something within your agency or organization, within your self-advocacy group, or just with a group of friends. Maybe it's something in the community where you talk about bullying, and that bullying isn't cool. Bullying doesn't make you look better. It just makes you look like a fool. So what ideas do you have? And really, even though Bullying Awareness Month is October, you can do it 12 months out of the year. We don't have to use just 1 month to focus on it. We should focus on it every single day. All right, from Livingston County Advocates in Action, thank you for this reminder that bullying hurts your feelings. Sometimes the bullying, if it's direct, it can be physical and it hurts your body. And even if it isn't direct and hurting your body, it hurts your feelings. It makes us sad, it makes us mad, and it makes us depressed. Bullying's not fun. From Change to Independence Altogether, they share, it's important to know about bullying because sometimes the staff in our life can bully us and not even know it. And we need to be able to educate them and our peers. Oh, you are absolutely right. And maybe what agencies and organizations and self-advocacy groups do is they develop a presentation on bullying and they share it with staff because you're right. Sometimes staff aren't aware that the comments that they make or the names that they use are hurrying us or interfering with our work or our life. They may not understand that that's bullying. And they need to know what bullying is and how it impacts our lives. Oh, here you go from advocates down at CTF Advocacy Center. Bullies can have a bad family life or divorce. You're right. A lot of times we find out that bullies are hurting. It's kind of like the old saying, hurt people hurt people. So sometimes when people are hurting, they hurt other people. You know, they don't want to be the only ones hurting. So sometimes bullies can have a bad family life or a divorce. Sometimes bullies can have a really good family life and they're not being very nice. Here you go from Livingston County Advocates in Action. They just shared the golden rule. Treat others the way you want to be treated. Absolutely. Treat others the way you want to be treated. This is all great advice. Any other closing questions, comments, or considerations? Any other closing questions, comments, or considerations as our webinar draws to a close? While you are talking and perhaps using your control panel to type in a question, comment, or consideration in closing, I just want to remind you, we do have a second webinar this month. October has 2 webinars. Can you believe it? So we didn't want Bullying Awareness Month to go by without addressing bullying. So that's what we're doing today. And in 2 weeks, we are going to have a webinar about voting because we know elections come up in November. And while these are midterm elections, I know the news is full of presidential candidates and people are already talking and anticipating the bigger election next November. So on Wednesday, October 28th at 10 o'clock, we will have a voting webinar for folks to participate in. So mark your calendars. If you've already signed up, woohoo, we'll see you there. If you haven't signed up yet, what are you waiting for? Don't miss the opportunity to sign up. And I will be sending out a reminder to sign up for that. So seeing no more questions, comments, or consideration, I would like to say thank you so much for spending your morning with me. So on behalf of the Alliance, which includes Megan Norland, Tara Wicke, and Leanne Roth, I'm Christine Beck, and I say thank you so much. I remind you to check out our website, selfadvocacyalliance.org. We are also on Facebook, so go and friend us on Facebook and find out stuff there. Let's see, we have another comment. Yay! Thank you, CTF Advocacy Center. I appreciate all you do, and I appreciate everyone who participated today. Without you all, the Alliance wouldn't be the strong organization that it is. And we owe it all to you, our self-advocates, and to our awesome advisors. So if you guys would give a round of applause right now for yourselves and for your advisors, I'd appreciate it. I'm going to do so right now. Yay to our self-advocates and advisors. So I hope you have a great rest of the day. Again, this webinar was recorded. So if you'd like to receive a copy of the recording, either via email or through a disc, just let me know. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.